everything the Rockets do well, they did really, really, really well. And they blasted the Utah Jazz today in a game that was not close. And the Jazz Stars got throttled. Next on POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone. The Rockets beat the Jazz 129-101. Is it possible to have a 28-point game, not be that close? This would be the one. The Rockets jumped out early on the Jazz, beat them 30-21 in the first quarter. The Jazz went 5 minutes and 37 seconds between baskets in the first quarter of the ball game. In the second quarter, the Jazz were on the wrong side of a 16-2 run, and by halftime it was 67-48. The Jazz were on the wrong side of an 18-0 run in the third quarter, and by that time it was 98-68. And then league rules said we were obligated to play the next 12 minutes, so we did. The headline from a Jazz standpoint tonight, Ron, is that our Stars got absolutely throttled, if you want to use a Rocket terminology to it. The Rockets blasted off, and the Jazz never did. If you go back to the first quarter of the game, Keyonte George and Lauri Markkanen do not have a field goal at the end of the first quarter. Now, it is worth mentioning Keyonte was on the injured list with a illness, and he did just have the worst game of his NBA career, 0 points and 8 turnovers. So there is a chance those are related. But at the end of the first quarter tonight, Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George were 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, and had a combined 4 turnovers and 2 points. They have been carrying the burden, and Ime Udoka said that one of the things they have done very well this year is stifled the best player on the other team. They did that to the Jazz tonight.
Especially, I mean, I can see his point. If a team is relying on, and it has been throughout the early part of this year, it has been Markkanen and Keyonte has carried the load as far as scoring. You focus your attention on those two players and what they do best and how to take them out of their element, their where they think they're the best, and make it difficult for them. And that's what they did tonight. And I was so surprised that Keyonte didn't score in that first quarter. He's been so good at getting the Jazz off to a good start.
Keyonte scoreless, obviously, for the whole night. Last time, interestingly, last time he was scoreless in a half was against the Houston Rockets last April. So you do wonder if there's a little, I don't know who, I'd have to go back and watch who was guarding. They were switching everything, so it's hard to tell who's guarding them. But Reed Sheppard had him at times. Thompson had him at times. And he was, again, the illness is worth mentioning.
Yes.
Just in that, like, he looked off all night, and the turnovers maybe that, so we'll see. And if that's the case, then you at least admire that he played still and tried to show that leadership. But was there anything specifically the Rockets were doing to Keyonte and doing to Lauri in this one?
Well, can't really pinpoint anything because I thought Keyonte, he missed a few shots. And you have to point out, David, he only took 6 shots.
Right.
He only took 6 shots. And whether or not the defense kept him from getting shots, especially in the half court, I think they had a lot to do with it for the most part.
Reed Sheppard's defense is interesting, and I made a call during the ball game, like he was looking in the rear view mirror. You could see that he was looking in the rear view mirror at one point. What is it that Reed Sheppard was doing to him?
Well, he come up with a couple of steals. Remember, he blocked his shot from the backside, and I thought, and you're absolutely right, he got into a paint a couple of times, and throughout the year he's been pulling up and shooting that little mid-range shot. He started looking over his right shoulder to see if Sheppard was there. I think maybe David probably got into his head a little bit, especially because he ended up turning the basketball over a few times there as well.
Ron, what did Lauri, you have it in front of you, I can look and see as well. Lauri finishes tonight 1 of 5 from 3. So Lauri is now 8 of his last 34 from 3. What is your thoughts on is this fatigue? Is this just coming back to life? 8 of 34 is pretty poor for Lauri. What's your thoughts? I mean, that is below 25%. So what's your thoughts on that?
I'm not even worried about that because Lauri is a catch and shoot player. He's a catch and put the ball on the floor one time and shoot. And you're going to have nights where that or stretches for the most part where you're not going to shoot the basketball very, very well. If the team is if your opponents is making you put the ball on the floor for more than what you're used to putting the ball on the floor, then it's going to become a problem for you. So what they were doing with Lauri, I think, was really bellying up on him, knowing that he's not going to put the ball on the floor and go anywhere with it, and trying to take away his catch and shoot.
There is, like we've talked about it as a positive and how incredible Lauri is, that his amount of twos that are assisted, how Will Hardy's offense is getting. There is a problem that he cannot self-create. And so teams are, I do think there's some defensive, and we've played some very good defensive teams recently other than Sacramento. Lauri, 2 of 12 from 3 against Lauri. The number that jumps out to me is the 12. Like, he's just happened to miss shots that night. The number that jumps out to me tonight is that Lauri got 12 shots the entire game, and that he only got 5 threes. And I think if we go back to the Oklahoma City game, I don't think Lauri got a lot of looks in that ball game either. That these best defensive teams are able to take the shots away from Lauri, and that's disturbing. But that's also probably why Lauri is miscast a little bit as a best player on a team right now, because he cannot go get his own shot all the time.
Right. He's been averaging 20, 21 shots a ball game.
Yes.
And it comes up with, what, 12 tonight. And how many of those were really good looks?
Right.
So they made it awfully difficult for him. He'll be able to watch film tonight or tomorrow morning and see exactly what they were doing to him. And maybe they'll do something different with Lauri in order to get him going. And just see what happens. The defense of the Houston Rockets might be as good from a half-court standpoint without doing a lot of doubling, like some of the other teams, like Portland, or some of the other teams that they double a lot on the perimeter. They just flat out get after you and switch 1 through 4. I don't think they would switch. Well, they switched 1 through 5. Yeah, with Sengun.
It's interesting to watch because they should not necessarily be. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. Today's show is brought to you in part by FanDuel. FanDuel, official sportsbook betting partner of the NBA as well as of Locked On. One big play. Suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting so fun with FanDuel. You're not just watching the game. You're reacting in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum, every swing, every highlight. Live betting is the best part. When the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, a shooting guard gets on fire, whatever it might be. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads, money lines adjust instantly. Player props update with guy heats up. You can bet next touchdown, next basket, all sorts of things live while the game's going on. So if you want to jump right into the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your NFL or NBA bets all season long with FanDuel. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Right now, download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when playing with Prize Picks. Prize Picks, whether it's the bowl games, big basketball games, playoff pushes, you just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, lock in your lineup, and take your game. It's simple and fast, available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks has added an extra layer of excitement to the holiday sports schedule as well by creating a lineup in less than a minute. The app makes the whole process smooth and easy. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after your play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in your lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let me go to where you were a moment ago. Alfred Sengun should not be a particularly good defensive player. Kevin Durant's okay. He's super long. Reed Sheppard's small, but might be a pretty good defensive player showing. How are they so good defensively?
Well, either they've got a defensive system where they can cover up a couple of players or something like that. But whatever the case, they take you out of, what you're trying to do. I don't know if the Jazz had to operate in a short clock as much tonight, other than the fact that they just didn't shoot the basketball well. But normally a defensive team that really flat out get after you, you're operating in a short clock a lot of. And I didn't really see that tonight. This afternoon. Why?
I'm not trying to be snide, but they didn't get a short clock because they turned it over 7 times in the first quarter.
No,
before the clock got short, they gave the ball up. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but in the first quarter, I think we had 24 possessions. We turned it over on 7 of them. That's turning it over at 35% rate. Like that's dictating more than anything else.
Yeah. The help defense is good. And offensively, David, I would like to see the Jazz try to score early and bringing the ball up the floor. And not necessarily just playing fast and taking the first open shot, but playing fast enough or early enough to where you're getting into your offense right away. You get the defense. Teams like this, you got to get scrambling. so you can get what you want. That means you're going to have to assert yourself and play very, very hard. And if you're going to play Lauri in 3 stints against a team like this when he's playing as poorly as he is, then you're going to get something.
You made an interesting point that when he's struggling, the 3 stints could be exacerbating the struggles.
Yes, exactly. Well, because you just really can't get going. I feel that way. Maybe some coaches say, well, we get him out, bring him back in and do something else with him. Maybe he can get going. But a player and what he tries to do, the way he tries to play anyway, I don't know. That's interesting. And
you could drop the mic on a press conference by asking, as a former player, asking a coach that question.
Yeah.
So we'll stay away from that. Bright spot of the night, Ace Bailey. He goes 8 of 12 tonight. He hits 3 threes. He's +2 in 19 minutes in the midst of a 28-point blowout. And his offense, it's just easy. Like, it's just you're watching it come together and it's easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's the only one that gets a
no tonight.
No,
I kind of
tonight.
figured. Yeah. All right, you were a great scorer, 3rd all-time leading scorer in the history of the ABA. Great scorer. What are you seeing from Ace Bailey as a scorer?
I like what he's doing now, David, because he's not what he's been used to is having the ball in his hands and doing a lot of stuff. I mean, showing his athletic ability, doing a lot of things. But right now, he's scoring within the system, and his offense looks good. I mean, you can see a tremendous amount of potential in him. His jump shot, we haven't seen him drive to the basket a lot, but he is playing within the system and I just like what he's doing. I mean, you can see potential there, and you can see a very upside of his game 2 or 3 years down the line. Is he going to be the man?
He's effectively playing right now from 12 feet to 25 feet.
Yeah.
And the question is whether he ever when does he start to figure out body strength, reads 0 to 12 feet. But right now he's playing 12 to 25 feet. Will Hardy has made the comment that they're very systematically giving him certain things. As the season progresses, what do you think the next things we looked at his shot, like Kevin Durant as a rookie got 20 shots on a bad team. Will's, I think, what's Ace game about 11 or 12? Like, when do you up him to 15, 16, 17 shots? Do you force feed him at some point in the season? Will talks about 10-game increments. We're only in the second 10-game increment. We have another 6 of these increments to go. What do you think we see in the next
I don't
step?
think you force feed him.
Okay.
Not at all. Force feed him at all. I think his growth is going to be defensively.
Okay.
And because you can see the offense, and you just let him play. He's doing everything within the form of the offense, and he's not taking bad shots or anything like that. So his growth, I think, from maybe the beginning of the year to the end of the year, you'll see a tremendous amount of growth in his defense on the floor. Because right now, I wouldn't worry about his offense at all.
No, I wouldn't at all. The only just self-creation. I mean, if you see the highlight, he has a play tonight on the right baseline. He takes the shot. If you get a chance, and I'll send it out on Twitter if I get it. No one can get it because Elon's made it so that you can't see it. So I'll send it on Twitter. None of you will see it. So you're going to go find it yourself. You got to see the elevation of where he releases the basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I think he releases the basketball close to 10, 12 feet or 10, 11 feet. It's way up there. And if that's the case, he'll be the only reason I would be willing to force feed him is to let him just learn how to shoot and let his shooting percentage drop to 40% like Durant's was as a rookie, and let him get 20 shots a night and just say to him, like, I want 20 shots. It goes back to like the Mike D'Antoni story when Mike D'Antoni went to play in Europe and the coach said to him, like, I need 18 shots a night. And the first night Mike said, I got 13.
So what you're saying, you want it to be difficult for him.
Yeah. I just want him to take 20 shots a night and see what happens.
Okay.
And he can shoot 40%. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at some point in these increment, and it doesn't have to be this 10 or the next 10, but I think at some point the process is like, hey, Ace, I need 20 shots. When Ace comes to the bench and says, I only got 15, but there weren't another 5 there, make another 5. Like, wow. Mike D'Antoni tells a great story about going to Italy, and he kind of had the yips, and he didn't want to shoot. And the coach is like, you don't play unless you shoot 15 times a night. In the first game, he took 8 shots, and the coach was like, where's my 15 shots? Mike said, well, there weren't. No, make 15 shots.
Yeah.
Like, create that's the next step, I think. We'll see. All right, that is POSTCAST tonight. For those of you that stuck with this POSTCAST, I greatly appreciate you because hopefully that conversation was interesting because a lot of people are front runners. And this is a POSTCAST today for non-front runners. And we admire the non-front runners because we got throttled tonight. Have a great one. Talk to you later.